If you're into car audio, then you know the brand Focal. This company has been blessing the car audio industry with dope products since the very early 90s. Starting off as a family-owned business with a few key players, to being acquired by a large holding company that does more than $100 million a year in sales and has over 400 employees. Now, one of those key players in the early days that helped head up the car audio division was a guy by the name of Guy Bonneville. And after Focal was acquired by Vervent Audio Group, he decided to venture out on his own and started his own speaker company, BLAM, Bonneville Laboratories, and more. So it only seems fitting that we take these intertwined competing companies and put them against each other in a series we call Versus. So stay with us. Hey, what's up? This is Josh from Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for joining us for this video, and welcome to the channel that reviews, goes over, and demos all the latest in car audio, performance, suspension, and more, because we don't drive stock. Okay, so if you watched our channel in the past, you know that we really like the BLAM brand, even though we do carry Focal as well. So we're gonna do something different and take a different approach to this video. So the first part is we're gonna set up the demo room with these speakers. Instead of me telling you what I like best, we're gonna grab a couple customers that walk into our store along with a few employees, and we'll do an A/B test to see which speakers they like best and why. Then we'll set up the mic in the display and do an A/B test to see which speakers you think sound better. Now, we'll encourage you to grab a good set of high quality headphones to distinguish the differences between the two. And the speakers we'll be taking a look at in this video are going to be Focal K2-165K versus the BLAM L165P. Now, we selected these particular speakers because they're closely related in both power handling and price. Now, these companies do offer a wide range of speakers at various price points, from as low as under $200 up to several $1,000s. But both these speakers are under $900, which is a good medium ground. Okay, let's talk about the specs. First, the K2-165K, which are part of Focal's Elite line. Here are the specs and features. Now, these have an aluminum cast basket along with their K2 Kevlar sandwich woofer cone in Focal's signature yellow. The beautiful surround has their patented tune mass dampener, which they call the TMD, for better control and a more neutral and linear sound. You have a 13/16 aramid fiber M-shaped inverted dome tweeter. That's designed to make it less harsh. And a two-way external crossover with 3 tweeter levels, -3, 0, and +3 dB. Now, these speakers are 4 ohm impedance, and the power handling is 100 watts RMS or 200 watts peak. And the voice coil diameter on the mid is 1 1/4 or 32 millimeters. Frequency response range from 60 Hz all the way up to 22,000 Hz, and the sensitivity is 90.8 dB. Now, the BLAM. Now, these are the L165P, and these are part of BLAM's Live line. Now, the basket is made of machine cast aluminum, and the cone is an epoxy resin and fiberglass, which is extremely stiff and rigid, along with beautiful rubber surround. Now, the tweeter measures 1 inch or 25 millimeters and is a soft dome tweeter. Now, BLAM gives you 2 sets of crossovers, one for the mids and highs and one for the tweeter. So if you're biamping these, you'll be able to utilize the crossovers, unlike the Focal that only have 1 input. Now, the power handling is 90 watts RMS and 180 watts peak. The voice coil on the mid is 1 1/4 or 32 millimeters, and the frequency response is 50 Hz all the way up to 25,000 Hz. The sensitivity on the mid is 91.7 dB, and for the tweeter is 91.6 dB. And both the tweeter and the mid are 3 ohm impedance. Okay, that covers that. Now let's get into the listening part of this video. All right, so we're in the display with Rob. He's one of the installers that we have here. And let me tell you, it takes a lot to impress this guy. So I brought him in first, okay? So let me lay it down real quick. All right, so we're using the JVC KW-Z1000W. Now, this has a 5-volt pre-out, and then we're gonna keep the EQ set at flat. We'll be running off the Helix M4, which is perfect for both of these speakers because it's 100 watts times 4 RMS between 2 or 4 ohms. And since the BLAM are 3 ohm speakers and the Focal are 4 ohm speakers, there won't be a difference in power output from this particular amplifier. And then we're gonna bounce back and forth with some songs, and we'll switch from 1 to 2. You just tell me which one you like better. We'll play a couple songs, and at the end you just tell me what you think. Okay? Cool. All right. Yeah. Okay, so overall, number 1 or number 2?
So number 1 and number 2 change between whether it's classic or if it's more of a hip hop.
Okay, so explain.
So with the classic rock, number 1 is the better choice.
Okay.
With the hip hop, number 2 seems to be a little bit better choice.
Okay, so why number 1 with the classic rock?
So number 1 with the classic rock would be because it's hitting those notes perfect. You can hear every instrument playing through.
Right. Okay.
Nice. Number 2 with the classic rock, it's missing the instrumental.
Okay. So you're missing some frequencies.
Some frequencies are off.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so you're saying number 2 for hip hop because?
Because it hits a little more and it has a little more clarity on the highs.
Okay, so it's brighter. So we did notice that it's definitely brighter. So if someone really likes bright highs, Focal is really known for that.
Right.
Okay. All right, so we picked a customer out of the store. This is Brian. Thanks for doing this, Brian. The first one, speaking of one?
The second one sounds like a little bit, like it's a little bit muffled.
A little bit muffled, okay. So you chose these ones, top ones, cool. All right, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All right. Now with Jasmine, she's gonna take a listen to these 2 speakers. We're gonna go speaker 1 and speaker 2.
Overall, I would say speaker number 1.
Okay, why?
I think it's more like a full sound. Like
Okay.
it has a little bit of the vocals and it has some bass, so it sounds really good all together.
Okay, cool. So you picked number 1?
Yeah.
All right, you picked the BLAMs.
Sure.
Okay, so we're here with Diego. Diego's one of our customers here. He's gonna do a sound test. Speaker 2.
Pigeonhole, I'm a night owl, it's a different mode. I might have to make a pen of 6 on a pinky toe. Heard you with a shooting guard, just let it know. I would have you courtside, not the middle row.
Okay, so which speaker you like better, speaker 1 or speaker 2?
I'd say speaker 2 sounds a lot clearer to me, just
Okay.
because you know it sounds more like closer. You know, like
Okay.
the other one feels like it's more like over there. You know.
Okay,
This
so-
one sounds more clear, like for sure.
Okay.
You know.
Got it.
But
All right.
speaker 2 is the way to go. you
Okay.
know.
All right. So you picked the Focals. So we got our next guy. This is Gio. He's one of my good friends. He buys a lot of stuff here. This guy does have really good equipment. He has back and sauce amplifiers that we just recently switched out for some Helix amplifiers.
Yes, sir.
And he has Morel speakers. So this guy knows what to listen for. Speaker 2. Speaker 2. Okay, what do you think?
All right, speaker 1.
Okay, cool. Tell me
Speaker
why.
1. The sound is a lot more even. We can hear the background to the vocals compared to the 2. The 2, the vocals is overpowering all the background, the sound, and
Right,
everything.
so it's like more.
Yeah, especially if you want to play it louder with 2, with eventually you're going to start popping your ears on the highness.
Right.
2 is going to have a lot better, smoother sound.
Right.
That's why I like the 1 better. I like
Okay,
one
awesome.
better.
So you picked the BLAMs. Okay, go ahead and grab your headphones and let's do that A/B test for you guys.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I spend it all. If I could find that Hannah in that Sancho that she's found, well, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. But I really wanna know how they Metro.
Yeah, drinking dope turned me to a superhero. Yeah, hit that pill, turned me to a superhero. Yeah, roll my 90s, turned me to a superhero. Yeah, Metro, don't trust you. I'm on that dope again, I'm on that flow again, switch up the flow again. Yeah, fly in the parachute, gripping that pole again, I'm on that all again. Yeah. Bring King
Okay, it sounds like we have a winner here, but I really like what our tech Rob said about the differences between the two. Although it was consistent that the BLAMs were more rounded and highlighted a larger frequency range versus the Focals being focused on the higher frequencies. Now, of course, it all depends on what you're looking for in a speaker. If you really like bright highs, then the Focals are the better choice. But if you're looking for something that's more rounded and does really well with live instruments and voice, then the BLAMs are going to be your best bet. Now, either way, both of these brands did a good job on both of these speakers. But there can only be one winner, and that winner is the BLAM L165P. Now, these speakers are very detailed with a smooth tweeter that are able to play at loud levels. Okay, if you've listened to the A/B comparison with a good set of headphones, we would love to know which speakers you prefer and why. So go ahead and leave your response in the comments section below. I wanted to touch bases on both of these companies before we end this video. When it comes to Focal, I respect that despite being bought out by a larger company, they stay true to the brand that was built. Too many times in the car audio industry, a large company buys a smaller company just to gain market share, and they'll come in and change the products by making them cheaper and not staying true to how the company brand was built. Not the case with Focal. They have stayed true to their roots and didn't skip a beat when they changed ownership. Many of the products are still made in France in the same way they've been for decades. And whether you bought a set of Focals before the buyout or after, the experience the speaker gives remains the same, and looks the same, and sounds the same because it is the same. Whereas in companies that have been through a buyout, there's a noticeable difference in the products after the buyout. When it comes to BLAM, there is no better story than an employee that wants to venture out on his own when the company he works for sells for a larger company, because he has something not only to prove to the rest of the world, but to himself. And I respect the fact that Guy didn't just make carbon copies of Focal speakers and put his name on it. He created different speakers that he's able to call his own, that are made different, look different, and most importantly, sound different. Okay guys, that's all for now. Now, if you want to support this channel, make sure to visit our website for all your car audio needs. And if you're interested in either of these speakers, we'll leave links in the description below, taking you directly to each webpage. Okay, that's gonna do it. My name is Josh, I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you guys next time.